So I've been having a lot of conversation recently about Zach. And so I kind of want to do like a tad bit of a throwback video. Um, and I say throwback in the sense that when Zach was first being traded from Minnesota, I wasn't doing YouTube videos at the time. I've only been going for, it'll be actually a year tomorrow, I believe, that I made my first video for this stuff. I've got videos on my channel for other shit, but you know like actually doing this regularly on a full time kind of basis. Tomorrow will be like a year since I did my first video, so I wasn't around doing videos talking about this kind of stuff when it happened. But on my Facebook, anywhere else I could chat up with on YouTube and comment sections, whatever, I remember distinctly saying trading Zach LaVine instead of Andrew Wiggins was a huge mistake. And I said it at the time before he got to this point. Now, there's a reason I said this, okay? I want you to think back. This is like 2016, I believe. 2016, 2015-ish, maybe 2017. I remember distinctly saying the reason why you would keep Zach LaVine, because I went and looked at his numbers, and I said, okay, this guy, first of all, he's got good size, 6'7". You take that to the bank every day, so you assume he's going to get stronger, get muscle, bam. He checks that part off for me. He's an athlete, and I've mentioned this before. Zach is fast as fuck. He's one of the fastest guys I've seen with or without the ball. And I remember last year, him and Lonzo running, and it wasn't even a contest. And Lonzo's damn fast himself. He's one of the fastest players. But Zach just crushed him in raw speed. So he had the athletic ability. Obviously, he could jump and stuff. So I was like, okay, he checks that box. Not gonna get into like the wingspan and stuff. You just know he check all that. But the thing that got me is I went to look at his shooting numbers. And his shooting numbers is what had me like, I was like, wait, this guy's a 6'7" shooting guard he's a genetic freak of an athlete. And he can shoot. And he's got a semi-decent handle. I put all that together. I was like, wait a minute, bro. That's a phenomenal player in the making. You do not trade that guy when you got another guy who is a better two-way player in the sense that he'll play better defense, but he don't have the jump shot. And Andrew Wiggins ain't a slouch. He's athletic, but that nigga ain't Zach LaVine. You trade Andrew Wiggins. Now, you may be thinking, okay, Andrew Wiggins could develop a jump shot. Yes and no. Some players do, some players don't. I'd rather take the guy that already got the jump shot because I feel like I could better teach him to put himself in defensive positions, and I could train him up in defense more than I could train a guy to shoot. That's just me. I feel like you could turn a guy around in 1 year from no defense to defense versus a guy around from shooting. Granted, we got Lonzo and Tyreek and stuff from Fred Vinson. I ain't gonna get into that. But there's other guys that Fred Vinson has trained that ain't quite got there yet, like Zion and Nall and others. I ain't gonna get into that, but you get my point. I saw what he was before he became it years ago. And it's simple to me, man. Like, if you're an athletic freak, and you got like insane genetics, wingspan, height, all that other stuff, and you can shoot, you cover 90% of what the NBA is, just off that alone. Having a handle too allows you to create, and if you got a shot that you're confident in making, and you come in making at a high level, that's going to only get better anyway, but it's going to get better in the sense of the highest echelon. If you come in with a low level jump shot, you could get it there. Like Kawhi didn't. Kawhi came in and his shot wasn't quite there. They had to teach him up. And even though he's good, that nigga ain't Zach LaVine shooting. I'm gonna keep 100 with you. If we had a 3-point shooting contest, I'm taking Zach LaVine 10 out of 10 over Kawhi. Don't mean that Kawhi not the better player. I'm not saying Kawhi isn't the better player because he clearly is. But shooting wise, there's a clear difference. And so for me, I knew it instantly. I said Minnesota's making a mistake. Fast forward a bit, their careers have flipped. Andrew Wiggins he's not a role player, but he's an important key piece to what the Warriors are trying to do. But he's not touted as a team leading guy. Zach LaVine is looked at as a team leading guy, and his numbers are better. Although Wiggins is a better defender. Still, funny how we got to this point. Even though Zach has improved as a defender, Wiggins to me still ain't that 3-point shooter. So what they were is still what they were, even after all of these years. Except I think the advances LaVine made in defense is more than what Wiggins made in shooting. So, why are we having this conversation? Why are you talking about this, Distros? What's your point? Okay. You're going to put him next to a guy named Lonzo Anderson Ball. Lonzo is nowhere near the freak of an athlete that Zach LaVine is. And he is not the shooter. And even though he's pretty good on the genetics himself, being 6'6" as a point guard, he still don't have any of that shit that LaVine has. Although his handle is probably on the same level as Zach LaVine's. But what Zach LaVine don't have, Lonzo does. I think Lonzo excels in more of the technical skill aspects of the game. The passing, for instance. Zach LaVine could train for the rest of his life, and he'll never be a better passer than Lonzo is at this current moment. It is what it is. Now, rebounding, Zach got him by an inch, and I think his wingspan is a tad bit more than Lonzo, because Lonzo got like a 6'9" wingspan. It's fucking ridiculous. I have to look that up because I was like, damn, that nigga long. No homo. But Lonzo makes up for his deficiencies in other places with technical skill. Having raw physical attributes in a skilled player usually works out best for you. Chris Paul, CP3. I mean, not Chris Paul. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, or Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan. And then you also got a John Stockton, Karl Malone, that kind of thing. You know, you always see like a guard, a point guard, and then like someone, a bigger player who's usually like a freak athlete. Magic Johnson and Kareem, for instance, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I look at it like they complement each other in that way. But more importantly, because Lonzo's no slouch either, I feel like, because people are talking about the fit, here's the thing, man. Lonzo is going to enhance Zach in the sense that he's going to use more of Zach's athletic skills to get him in situations that will be beneficial to him. Like, Zach had to dominate the ball and point guards for the most part this season. He's not going to have to do that. So that's some energy he's going to have to save that he could apply to defense or just scoring. Which it will make him better late in the game. But more importantly, if Lonzo gets a steal and they're off to the races, the same synergy he had with Zion, he's going to have with Zach. And honestly, Lonzo is the type of player you probably want to have as many athletes around him as possible. And I know I said he's one of the fastest in the league. Lonzo should probably be your second slowest player on your team. And let me explain what I mean by that. Second slowest don't mean he's not. He's slow. What I'm saying is the guys around him probably should be faster than him because he passes the ball. Anybody passes the ball faster than you can move. If he's going to be passing the ball, you want guys that can get to point A to point B real quick. So Lonzo gets a steal. Zach's gone. Zach's gone. There's nobody, and I do mean nobody, in the league that is going to stop Zach LaVine from point A to point B and leaping to catch an alley oop. Not a player. If you start everybody on the same line and you said go, Zach LaVine is going to outrun everybody. Well, he's not going to outrun some people. I think De'Aaron Fox and there might be one other guy, I can't think of his name right now, who's faster, pure speed. But none of them are going to be able to jump with him. He's going to dunk on him every time. So Lonzo's going to capitalize off of him in his athletic ability. But I think Lonzo is also going to take the pressure off of Zach in the sense that he can guard the best player on the perimeter, which means Zach don't have to. And that saves Zach's energy because it didn't matter. It was like him and Kobe White were just going to have to defend, and they just weren't going to defend. So there's that aspect of it where Zoe covers for all the other nuanced shit that Zach don't necessarily want to do at the highest level. So he could take breaks in the game and conserve energy, and he will be more efficient. Zach's total, and I don't know what his total shots per game is. I could see him coming down a shot or two, maybe 3, and still averaging 27 points per game. And people would look at that and say, well, he might get 26. And people would be like, oh, he's having a worse year as far as points per game. And I'm like, no. You got to look at other stuff. He is shooting the same percentage, but he's doing it on less shots. He is giving, what he's essentially doing is he's giving you the same production for less. That's way more efficient. And those shots could go to somebody else now. Patrick Williams, Vooch, Zoe himself, DeRozan. And if they're playing at a faster pace, that could create more shots too. So he's still having a ginormous effect on the game as far as scoring is concerned, but he doesn't have to do as much to get there. I think that's one of the biggest instruments of Zoe being on that team. Now, the question to me is, how can Zach LaVine elevate Zoe's game? Because Zach is okay at passing, but like I said, he'll never be the passer that Zoe is. And so my thing is, okay, what can he do to make Zoe's game easier? Zoe has to or needs to get into the paint more. He no Zoe stan or fan is gonna disagree. He needs to get into the paint more. He needs to take more mid-range jumpers. He needs to attack the basket. Now, before I finish that statement, let me say this, and I've said this before. I think Zoe took it easy last year and said, look, every time I've attacked, I've gotten fouled. That's how I got hurt. It's important for me to remain as healthy as possible to maintain my value and get my value up so I can get that contract. I think Lonzo will be more aggressive attacking, and he won't shoot as many threes. So he may come down on threes this year. He shot 8. He just accepted being a 3-and-D player, excelled in it. That might come down to 6, and he might get more attacks at the basket or mid-range jump shots this year, just off of the virtue that I got paid, I secured myself, let me go out here and play now. That's my theory. I could be completely wrong, but that's my thinking because I'm sitting here looking at it like this, bro. First 2 years in the league, you've been hurt and missed a lot of time. Third year, you just want to show you can be healthy. Did that. But your production ain't quite where you wanted it to be and what everybody else thought you were going to be. Fourth year, you're like, okay, even though I showed I could be healthy, I need to still be healthy to get this pay. But I need to show myself as much as possible. Even though I'm not going to be doing what I was doing, I need to show that I can still put the ball in the hole. So let me focus on doing everything else I can do, and let me try not to take as much contact to end up on the floor and show that I could be productive. By doing that, he got paid, and because he's paid now, I think Lonzo will go back to his aggression year one, where he will be way more aggressive attacking, and people are going to be like, well, where was this last year? And I can sit there and say, I told you so. Anywho, how can Zach help Lonzo, right? It's funny I mentioned attacking the basket. Look, Zach LaVine is, and I think we can all agree, he's not top 15. He's probably not even top 20. Top 25 is probably somewhere where he's at. So between 20 to 25. He's one of the better players in that bracket, and quite frankly, his gravity is something. He's got some big time gravity because he's got different gravity than Zion. Zion is a menace in the paint, but Zach is probably more of a menace on the perimeter. So he's gonna suck the defense away, whereas Zion is gonna pull it in. And then you got a guy like Vooch on the team too, who's gonna help with this. But the point is, you get a pick and roll, and Lonzo gets past his man, and now Vooch's defender. First of all, no center's keeping up with Zoe. Beeline to the basket. And if Vooch actually stops his guy, he's gonna feast at the basket. But here's the other thing. The help defender has to make a choice. Do I stick with Zach? Or do I go help out and stop Lonzo? Lonzo can read that shit. Oh, you come to help me? Pass to Zach. I think that's where Zach's game will help Lonzo. His existing on the court will provide enough gravity to pull defenders away so that Lonzo can get a higher percentage shot at the rim. Which it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Lonzo went from like 41% this year to like 46%. Just off of the fact that he's got two guys in Vooch and Zach who are going to pull defenses away from the rim. And here's the other part. And I thought about this last night. Guys who shoot more three-pointers, especially if you don't shoot them over 40%, are going to have a lower field goal percentage. What do I mean by that? So, if I take 12 shots a game, and actually, let me try to make this a better number to work with. I take 10 shots a game. If 8 of those are threes and 2 of those are twos, that's each one of those shots is worth 10%. If I'm shooting 37, you know what, fuck it, let's make it even, 40%. I'm shooting 40% from three. And let me make sure I get my math right before I fuck this up. So 80%, if I cut that in half, that's 4. So it should be like 3.2 makes a game. That's basically saying you almost missed 5 shots. And let's just say you make all 100% of your twos. So that's like 5 shots, that's 50%. Let's say we flip those real quick, right? And let's say this guy's only taking 2 threes a game, and the rest are attacks at the rim. And let's just assume that he's making 100% of the attacks at the rim, and he's making like half a 3 a game or something. Which is, I guess, something that's 25%. Maybe let's make it 0.8 to be fair. What we're saying is this guy's now shooting like almost 88% field goal shooting. The impact metrics are going to be skewed toward what you're taking more of. So why am I saying this? Zoe's shot profile last year was like 8 3-pointers and like 5 shots everywhere else. Okay? Definite improvement because he took way more shots this past year. But as you can see, his field goal percentage is skewed down because of the shots. And I use the 8 number because Zoe basically made like 3 or 3.1 threes a game. He was good for 3 of them a game, which means he's missing 5 shots. If this next year comes in, let's assume he's still taking 13 shots a game, which I predict because they got DeRozan, he's not going to get an increase there. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, he's taking 5 threes a game, but he's taking 8 twos, right? And let's assume for a minute that he's still able to hit 2 of them a game. That'll make him 40%, okay? Let's say on the regular field goals, though, because they're still 10, let's say he makes 5. So he's 5 of 10. So that's 2, 5 out of 15. That's 7. 7 out of 15, if you want to round it, we could say 7.5. That's 50%. But 7 out of 15 is like 45%. You see how big of a difference that makes? The numbers from the twos skew him up versus skewing him down. The reason I'm saying this is because his efficiency is going to jump if he's taking less threes under Billy Donovan. He don't have to make as many, but if those turn into twos, I promise you his efficiency is going to go up. The only players that usually shoot like a high number of threes and still maintain like a super high field goal percentage is like your Stephs and your Dames. But hell, like even James Harden was shooting like 37, 36% and like 44, 45, 47% field goals because he was getting to the line, which is a lot of his shots, and he was getting to the rim. And I think they showed a picture of James Harden's shot profile. He don't take anything mid-range. It's all at the basket or all behind the line. There's no in between. That means you guard James Harden 2 ways: play up on him and take away the rim. That's literally it. But it skewed his shot profile. If he had attacked the rim or attacked the mid-range, James Harden would have been like a 50% field goal shooter. Look at KD. KD career is like 38% from 3, and he's like 53% field goal shooting. If you go look at his numbers, he's shooting over 50% field goal, like as far as tools is concerned, and most of his shots come from there. He don't take as many threes. That's why he's efficient. Zoe has to get to a point where he's not taking that many threes. Now, it's okay for him to shoot that many threes if he's shooting close to that number of twos, which means he's getting like 16 shots a game. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. He's going to have to flip his shot profile to get like 8 and 5 or 7 and 6, something like that, which is a little bit more cleaner. And I promise you, he's going to look like a different player in people's eyes. Even though to me, I'm going to look at it and say, he just flipped his shot profile. He just took more tools, and it looks like he's way more efficient when really he just became smarter. He just became smarter. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I'm really excited for this season to come. Probably the same way everybody else is. But I'm not sure. I think they're going to have like the media guys inside the practice facility this year. And they can actually tape practices. That's something we missed this past year because practice was just players there and that was it. And then it might be media availability through Zoom. I'm not sure if they're doing that, but bruh, if they can get back, the first time I see him practice that meet somebody with a camera or something, fast break, Zoe, throw it out to Zach LaVine, women cut back and phew, I'm be like, but that's what I'm gonna be looking for this year. That, at least before the season. That, and I want to hear what Billy Donovan and the rest of the people in the organization are saying about what Lonzo looks like in practice and scrimmage. Now, what I'm going to be looking for too is I'm going to watch preseason more than I watched anything else. And look, I guess I got to extend this video real quick. Going back to my point about him potentially saving himself from not getting injured. Every time we saw videos back under Gentry and the Pelicans and stuff, and even under the Lakers, Zoe seemed like he was attacking the rim, correct? Probably because it's a safer environment, knows he's not going to get hurt, he attacks the rim. In the game, doesn't look the same. Why do you think that is? It makes so much sense when you think about it. If I see him in preseason attacking the rim, I know what it was. And you guys should instantly think back to this video and say, okay, that is exactly what it was. Game one starts, if you see him attacking the rim and he's just like, going to the line, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. He's gonna be in conversation for most improved, and he's going to look like he's gonna make the Pelicans look stupid. It's gonna be like, what the fuck happened? Why did you do this? And then his efficiency at the rim is gonna be high. They're gonna be like, well, Lonzo's one of the better finishers at the rim, and people are gonna be like, well, all these other excuses and shit. And I'm like, no, this was obvious if you think and you look. A lot of you just box score watch. I box score watch too from time to time. But I box score watch and I watch the game. Just like the other day, I watched Chicago versus the Pelicans, and I watched how that whole thing played out. I didn't watch the entire thing. I watched like the first half. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and watch the rest of that today. But it's the little things, okay? You got to understand psychology and mentality and what players are thinking. Okay, if I get paid, I go into my next year and I get an injury, big whoop. I'll be okay. I already got paid. I still got 3 more years. Okay, I just can't be getting injured like that going on the rest of the time. But that's the way a player's gonna think, man. It's always about getting your money, getting your money, getting your money. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I'm actually in the video now. Y'all have a good day. Peace.